Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back to a new edition of Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter, and today's special guest. We got an Adams State University defensive end outside linebacker. This guy was All-American in high school, played football in New York, and went and played in the U.S. Olympics and won a gold medal. Yes, sir. We would like to welcome today's special guest, Mr. Thomas Reed the third. What's going on, Thomas?
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate that. Dope intro, but I'm doing good, man. How's everything?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I can't complain. Thanks for coming on the show. For
Of course.
everybody watching, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, hit the notification. Follow us on Spotify, Deezer, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All right. So Thomas, for the people that don't know you, let them know where you're from, and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in New York. Went to high school in Long Island, New York, and then I ended up living out in Brooklyn for a little bit, and that's where I was during my college career, and then transferred over out here to Colorado and started my career outside of football and within the game of football out here. So and it's just been continuing ever since.
Cool. All right. So growing up, what inspired you to play sports? Like, what was the first sport you played?
The first sport I played was football.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've been playing this game since I was about 4, turning 5. I was in school, pre-K or elementary school, something like that. And then my dad saw that, we had like little flyers in our book bag from like local stuff that was going on in the community. So he had a conversation with my mom and was like, let's put him in football. And my mother knew nothing about it, so she really wasn't with it. But then they gave it a shot, and, years later, this is where we at now. So.
All right, cool. So who's that? Cosby 7 said Juice God Thomas.
That's right. My boy Kadri, yeah.
That's what's up, man. So talk about your area where you came from, man. Talk about the environment. What was it like playing football Friday nights in New York? What type of field did y'all play on, and like what division or how big was your school? Were you 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A?
We were kind of like a medium, semi-big kind of school. Like the one. Like the level 1 or stuff, the conference ones and stuff like that. Those were the big schools. Anything lower than that was. So we were around 2 or 3 throughout my years of high school. But the competition was dope. There's actually like a lot of talent coming out of like Long Island and New York for football, all throughout the boroughs and Suffolk County, Nassau County, Long Island City, all of that. So it was good competition. I mean, the environment, playing in cold blizzard games. There's still games I remember from like my sophomore year of high school to summer camps and what that was like playing in humidity. Those are memories I'll never forget. So
that's great, man. Okay, Andrew McPherson said New York represent good stuff.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you tuning in, Andrew. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. So Andrew, what was the first position you played?
So my first position that I played was defensive end. And I was playing running back, kicker, and all of that stuff in Little League, but my main position was defensive end. And then kind of growing up, a lot of people were comparing me to Jason Taylor. So my dad was a Dolphins fan. So it was kind of like dope for him to experience that. I was that tall, lanky DN, just flying off the edge kind of thing. So the position stuck with me ever since. So
right. So since you had like a lot of length growing up, did you play any other sports like basketball or anything?
Yeah, I played basketball I believe it was my sophomore year of high school, and then my junior year of high school. No, my junior year of high school, and then my senior year of high school. I played a little bit my senior year, not much. I didn't finish out the season because football took over with the All-American game and then Team USA Olympics.
Yeah.
So, but I did that, and then I think my freshman year of high school, I did track. I did track for a year. So.
Yeah. So let's talk about middle school a little bit. You leave the Pop Warner. Your mom signed you up. You got comfortable playing with the kids. Now you go into middle school. It's another level up. Talk about that a little bit. How was that interacting with your coaches?
That was definitely like a phase of now I'm experiencing real kids. Like bigger kids and stuff like that. Like I've always played with bigger kids in like the Pop Warner leagues and stuff. But when you get to middle school, there was a kid that was like 6 foot. Almost close to 200 pounds, and he was in like 8th grade. And that was like the first time I've ever seen kids that big. But that's when I realized, like, okay, yeah, I want to compete with like somebody like that. I was a competitive kid in that realm. So I think that's where it started. But middle school was fun from what I remember, the little bit I remember.
Okay. And the positions you played in middle school was defensive end, linebacker, running back too, or?
Nah, so in middle school, from what I remember, I was they had me playing like tight end receiver ish.
Okay.
So I was running routes and all of that. And then I was mainly defensive end. So
Okay.
like, it's been my entire career.
All right. So, is there any other athletes in your family besides yourself?
My brother, my blood brother, he was a lacrosse player for a little bit.
Wow.
My cousin actually graduated from the same high school that I ended up graduating from, and he was their quarterback and kicker for a little bit. And then my dad actually played Major League Baseball for a little bit. It wasn't long, but he ended up playing and signing, I believe, with the Mets or Braves or one of those teams. But that career was shortly lived. But it was just me that was going around hitting people instead of hitting baseballs. So.
All right, man. So you never tried to play baseball ever?
Nah. It was too slow of a game for me. There was no contact. I was like a kid that liked contact. I was one of those guys. So
Okay, cool. So you're going into high school, your freshman year. Did you
yep.
play varsity, JV, B team? Did you start right away?
I started on JV. So there was only JV and varsity at my school, and I started on JV. I actually played guard and tackle,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
yeah, so we ran triple option and stuff like that. So I was like pulling and to down blocking and all of that stuff when I was a freshman. But the end was my main position. And then going into playoffs, they usually pull up a JV player to go to varsity for like playoff time or something like that. And I was one of the guys that didn't get pulled up. So I kind of took that personal and I turned it up. I turned it up in that off season, like working out, training, trying to learn, going to football camps and everything. And then my sophomore year came back and I became a 3-year varsity starter from there as a defensive end. And then going into my senior year, I actually learned how to long snap. So I was a long snapper too.
Okay. Jamari Moore says no lacrosse for T. Reed.
Nah, that was not it for me. I wish, but nah, not for me.
Okay, cool. So what type of turf did you guys play on in New York? Did you play on regular grass or you played on turf or what was it?
Yeah, so a lot of schools weren't big into turf yet at the time. So I was still playing on dirt, snow games, rain games. We sliding in mud and that humidity wasn't really it kicked in, but it wasn't like burning our cleats or nothing like that, like what turf would do. So it was definitely different playing on turf and grass, like throughout the years. But we played on grass.
Okay. So what was one thing that you elevated in your game on going into your sophomore year, or the thing that you worked on the most that summer to get you that 3-year continuation on varsity?
It was a lot. There was a lot of things that I had to learn. So, and one of the biggest aspects was going to for a lot of football camps. My parents made it happen for me to go to a lot of football camps when I was in high school and throughout those years. So I was learning. I ended up going to like FBU camps, the Under Armour camps, Nike combines, stuff like that. And then there was there was a coach that I'll never forget. It was Chuck Smith. He was actually the legendary, pass rushing coach. So I ended up learning from him like way back when at a camp that I got invited to. So like learning how to pass rush, learning like angles and all of that stuff. And I thought I was like pretty decent at what I was already doing, but to kind of learn from him and then other coaches that I had throughout my career was dope.
All right, cool. So in high school, did you participate in any other clubs like DECA, any other like outside career?
Yeah. So I was getting involved, giving back to the community a lot. I was working at like with nonprofits a little bit, to giving back to kids and like doing football camps and little stuff like that. There was a club at my school. I forgot what the acronym stood for. Jesus, too bad. But I think it was the SAD Club or something like that, like SAAD or something like that. And I was involved in that. So that's pretty much it that I was involved in high school.
All right, cool. Yvette Flowers says, always working, T. Reed. Such an amazing mentor for my son. We wouldn't be where we are without you and your talents and values.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Ms. Flores. Thank you, Ms. Flores.
So talk about the competition in that area in high school. You said you were in the top tier division. I guess it was school one or area one. Talk about the competition.
Oh, the talent was a lot more than what a lot of people expect to come out of New York. even though we have a D1 school right on Long Island, and then obviously we have like Syracuse and Buffalo. So we had a lot of dudes that was in my area that committed out of there. John Haggart was a guy coming out of Sayville High School. He was a good guy that I competed against. At one point in my career, he ended up playing at Stony Brook, I believe. Devontae McFarland was a guy that went to another school, Hills West, I believe, and then he ended up committing and playing running back at Syracuse for a bit. So there was a lot of talent coming out of there. Guys committed to Massachusetts, and even like the D3 schools, they were pretty good. The Cortlands, the Ithacas. There's a lot more talent than people expect.
Okay. So how far did you guys make it in the playoffs?
So my freshman year when I was on JV, the game I was supposed to get pulled up to, they lost in the first round, I believe, to one of the schools in the Hamptons. And then sophomore year, when I got pulled up, I was a starter. We actually lost to North Babylon, which is one of our rivals. And then junior year, we didn't make it. And my senior year, we did make it barely, and we lost to a school called Miller Place.
Okay, cool. All right. Who was the coach on your squad at the time was the most inspirational?
That's tough. I mean, there was a lot of things that I learned from the coaches that I had. I probably say Adam Brown. He was one of the football coaches that I had. I think he was a defensive coordinator at the time, but he played at Hofstra before they shut down Hofstra's program. So they were a good program, and I learned a lot from him. It was pretty dope for the time being.
Okay. So you're like class of what, 2014?
High school was class of 2014.
All right, cool. So you came out of high school 2014. You went and played in the All-Star game. And it was an All-American game, the gray and blue. Talk about that experience.
So that was definitely a cool experience for me. I got to play with a lot of guys that were committed to big schools like North Carolina State, NC State, Washington State, from what I remember. Where else? They was packed to a University of Arizona. Like there was just talent all across the board, and that was the first time I stepped on the field with a lot of those guys that were legit. Everybody was going D1 pretty much. It was a dope experience, and we got to play at the Tampa Bay Bucs Stadium in Florida. So to train out there, practice out there, have fun out there to kind of end it before going into college was kind of fun. It was a good time.
Yeah. And then you also played in the Olympic game. Was that after you played in the All-American blue and gray game?
Yeah, so the Blue Gray All-American game was in January, I believe, of my senior year. And then we had prom in June. We had graduation and prom in June. The next day, I flew out to D.C. We had training camp in D.C. for Team USA. And then after that, they flew me out to Kuwait, and we ended up playing in the tournament, I would say, in Kuwait.
All right. How many games were there?
I believe we played 4. We played 4 or 5. 4. We played against Germany, Mexico, Japan, and then we ended up playing Canada in the championship game.
Wow. And you guys were undefeated, right?
Yeah, we beat every team. We almost lost to Canada, actually, in the championship game. We came out in the second half and just turned it up, and everything changed. So we actually balled out, came out with the gold, first gold medal. Yeah.
Rich Reed says, best inside edge rusher out there. Appreciate you tuning in, Rich.
Appreciate that, Pops. That's my dad. That's my dad right there.
You said, who is that to you?
That's my dad. That's my Pops.
Oh, hey, shout out to Pops, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, sir. So, talk about your recruiting process. You go through all that. You win a gold medal. You didn't win a state championship, but you went to the All-American game in your division. So talk about, your recruiting. How many schools did you actually visit? And why did you choose to go where you went? Let the world know.
So during that time period, to be honest, the grades was obviously a challenge for me at one point. And then by the time I picked it up and I was like, all right, I'm on it. I'm locked in. At that point, the recruiting window kind of closed. So I still had a lot of schools offering not offering, but kind of interested, and they were trying to bid my way in. But at that point, it was already too late, with the grades. So that's the reason why when I got invited to the All-American game in the Olympics, I was trying to use that as a recruiting platform for myself. But I ended up having a little injury at that point during the Olympic tournament. And by the time I recovered from that, it was just best off for me to go to junior college. So I decided to take the junior college route and start off there.
Okay. And when you went to the junior college, what school did you go attend?
The first school I actually attended was Lackawanna College in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I was under Coach Mark Duda.
Okay.
Mhm.
And talk about that experience a little bit.
It was dope to kind of just experience. First of all, like that. I mean, it wasn't a big school, but to kind of be away from home as a freshman, experiencing college, that kind of thing. It was a dope. It was fun, but let alone to kind of realize the legacy that Coach Duda was to Lackawanna College, and then to play with a lot of the guys. Kazir White, who's actually a linebacker in the NFL, was actually he attended Lackawanna College with me around the same time I was there. He left the year before me, so. It was dope. There was a lot of talent out there. It was legit seeing scouts from Oklahoma, West Virginia, Auburn, all of these guys that are walking through our campuses on a regular, and it's kind of like a shocking moment.
Great, man. So, you guys had a good season that year, or what happened as far as like your records?
So that year I was redshirted, and then I was only there for a semester, so I ended up having to transfer out due to my family issues. Somebody was, sick, and it was the best interest for me to kind of transfer back home to another junior college to finish out there. But, like I said, my experience at LAC was fun.
I understand. All right. So you left there, and what was next for you?
So after that, I attended Nassau Community College, which is back in Long Island. So I went back home to kind of help out with the family situation as much as I could.
And it's during COVID, 2020, 2021?
So this was 2016, I believe.
16?
Yeah, spring of 2016 is when I transferred to Nassau. I did that's when I started like playing and stuff. That was my freshman season. And then we didn't have the best year, but we had a lot of talent. Jordan Barton was another dope receiver that I played with actually. Now he's playing for the Omaha Beef. We had, stacked defense. It was a couple guys on that team are now playing overseas and like Germany and stuff. So we had some really good talent, but we just didn't have the best outcome my freshman year. And then I ended up leaving there again and having to transfer. That's when I moved back to like the area of Brooklyn, went back to ASA College and took care of obviously the family situation, but finished out my junior college career there.
All right, cool. Mm-hmm. Well, we got some highlights from you at that university. Let's go ahead and look at that. I just want to put out there, we don't own the rights to the clips, the music in the video, the footage. We have fan control football lead defensive end, outside linebacker, Mr. Thomas Reed III. Okay, for everybody that's watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify, Deezer, Facebook, and Instagram. All right, we'll go ahead and get in this clip. Stay with us, Thomas. We'll be right back. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Yes, sir. And we back. We got former ASA State University defensive end outside linebacker Thomas Reed. He's former All-American and Olympian gold medalist. Thomas, talk about your experience and how much you had fun at that JUCO there, man. What did you learn there? It seemed like you played freely. You was happy to be out there. Talk about that a little bit.
So that film was from my time at Adams State, and
Okay.
um, at that point at that point to finish out my last 2 years of college, it was kind of dope. I got to learn from a former NFL and CFL player himself. It was Coach Kai Ellis. So he
Okay.
was in the league for a while. So to kind of build that relationship with him, he saw talent in me, and he was actually the one that recruited me to go to Adams State. So to kind of build that relationship from the time that he recruited me and I went on my visit to the time I graduated and left, it was dope. So to kind of learn from him as well, and as you see, it kind of played out at some point in my career. To kind of it worked. So I had a
What
good
was the what was the record at the end of that season?
time. I don't remember that. Yeah, I don't remember that. That's a long time ago. 4 years ago. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, no problem. So, after Adams State, what was next for Thomas Reed?
So then after I went to Adams State, I moved up to Denver. I was up here training for a bit. This was supposed to be a temporary thing, but came up here and I was training at Landau Performance. So the former strength coach for the Denver Broncos. He's now currently the strength coach for Notre Dame. Landau Performance. He owns that facility. So I learned a lot from there. They were helping me train for a pro day. Finally got invited to the pro day at CSU Pueblo. Performed over there, and then COVID hit a couple days later. So my pro day was March 9th, and I think it shut everything down at like March 12th or something like that. So kind of took a little turn in my career.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into that clip. We got some footage for everybody who's watching. Thank you for subscribing and tuning in. We have former Adams State University linebacker at defensive end, Thomas Reed III, and he's also with the Fan Control Football League. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into this clip, and Thomas, stay with me. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Ten and 3/8. 75 and a quarter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I see those drills out there, man. Never looked like you got hurt. I mean, you was moving pretty fluid. Whoever rehabbed you did a great job, man.
Yeah, credit to the medical team that I had from Emory out in Atlanta at the time, because that workout was actually after another injury from my rookie season at the Fan Control League. So I ended up getting that workout at the Denver Broncos facility. But yeah, shout out to Dr. Lamplot from Emory. He was the doctor there that did my surgery. Emory Physical Therapy, UC Health out here in Denver, specialized PT. You know, out of a lot of people in my corner, especially the medical team that works with me. I mean, even just the acupuncture, cupping, and from Jackie and scraping and chiropractor. Like I just had the whole nine. So I had a lot of people that helped me out. So I appreciate everybody that helped me out throughout the process.
All right. So Dominic Tillman said, hardest working guy I have seen in a while. God definitely need an opportunity.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Dominic, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Cod Speed says NFL sleeping, bro. Yeah. So talk about the Fan Control League, man. I know we got into that clip when you did your pro day. Talk about the Fan Control League.
Yeah, so prior to that pro day video, we saw I was in Atlanta. I signed to the Fan Control League. I actually worked out for Wade Phillips, and when he was with the Rams in 2020, and Coach John Jenkins, who was the head coach for the Fan Control League. So I went to Tomball, Texas in 2020. This is towards the end of the year, like after my pro day and stuff. And I worked out for them. They both loved me at the workout, said I ran good, numbers looked good. My shuttle, I think it was like sub 4.3. My 40, I think I hit 4.7 flat, somewhere around it. You know, so I felt good. After my pro day, obviously with the whole COVID situation, Wade Phillips pulled me aside, started talking to me. So in 2022, I ended up coming back around, and he found me again. He signed me, and then I ended up reporting for camp in Atlanta. And while I was out there during the season, I got re-injured. So went through that. That's when that whole rehab process kicked in with, you know, Dr. Lamplot, Emory, UC Health, all of those people that helped me throughout this process. And, you know, now I'm 100% good to go. So this is where we're at now.
That's right, man. Let's do it. So what is Thomas Reed up to now?
So right now, I'm doing a lot, man. I'm working with a professional football team in the National Arena League called the Colorado Spartans. They're an expansion team that's coming out this year, so I've been working with them a lot. Every year, since my injury, every year I decided to give out a scholarship. So now I have a scholarship in my name. It is the Thomas Reed III Senior Scholarship, and what I do is I help seniors who are in high school trying to get recruited that want to go to college, as long as they meet my criteria of academics, community service, things like that. And what I do is I give them $1,000 to go to college, so they can use that towards their books, their tuition, food, housing, whatever they need. So I send that check to whatever school they're at. And last year was my first year. Kid committed to Southern Connecticut. This year I gave out 3 scholarships, and as of right now, all 3 of my kids are committed to college, so which is dope. What else am I doing? I'm still mentoring kids, helping them. I'm coaching at a high school now, doing their strength and conditioning program, helping these kids get ready for the next level. I'm doing a lot, just all over the place.
That's great, man. You're paying it forward, man. Dominic says NFL is definitely sleeping hard on you, bro.
Listen, I mean, when the opportunity presents itself, I have the opportunity to showcase it, but, we'll see what happens. We'll see what God got in store.
Exactly. All right, man. So for the kids, what is your message to the youth?
So pretty much just stay focused. Don't let this social media lifestyle and this dynamic get to your heads. It's not worth it. We see a lot of kids that hit a super high with this social media stuff, and then they hit a massive downfall the moment it don't work out. So just keep your head down, grind out, stay focused. Don't let none of these distractions of social media, clout, attention, fame, whatever the case is, get to you. Stay humble, because that'll eat you alive if you're not. You'll get embarrassed in the big time if you don't. And just appreciate the opportunity that y'all have, because playing this game, living that lifestyle that you probably live now, won't last forever. So you might as well just enjoy it while you can, have fun with it, but realize the work that you got to put into it as well. So that's my message.
Great. Let them know, man. You can't, if you live by the claps, you'll die by the booze.
That's true. That is so true.
All right. Christy just tuned in, says always looking out for these kids and finding ways to help. All right, man.
Yeah.
Your community, and we appreciate you coming on the show, man. Right. Is there any shout outs you would like to give tonight before we head out? Anybody you'd like to thank personally? Your teammates, family members, friends, classmates, anything, mentors?
Yeah. First, gotta give glory to God. Gotta give him his credit when credit is due, through the good and bad. But I give a shout out to obviously my family, the Reed family, down to the bone. My grandparents, parents, have sacrificed a lot, done a lot. All my friends that are striving back at home in New York, doing their thing with the music. My boy Pell, Brandon, Eddie, all of these guys that are doing their thing. I appreciate to my medical team that works for me. Austin Keys, Jackie for the acupuncture and cupping, Tynan, Sarah for the neurofeedback brain training. Appreciate all of the sacrifices and help they've done to help me get to this point and still support me throughout my journey. And everybody else that I forgot, I apologize if I forgot. I can't list everybody right now, but I appreciate everybody, though. Everybody that supports me, watches this, sticks through my career. If y'all can, go check out the merch. As y'all see the merch right here. It's on millions.co, C-O. Just type in my name and go cop a hoodie, T-shirt, something to show some support, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. So I got a couple questions I'm going to ask you before we head out. It's just like some brain exercise. So let me ask you, what was your favorite music before a game?
Favorite music, like genre or like artist?
Artist, it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah. So I listen to hip hop and rap. My dad, down to the bone, we were listening to Redman and Method Man before a game growing up. So still to this day, I listen to that. Mobb Deep. I listen to Lil Dave East and his generation, these young cats. The young kids I'm working with got me on that NBA Young Boy and Lil Uzi a little bit, get a little hype to that. So, but yeah, that's what I listen to before a game.
What's your favorite pregame meal?
Pregame meal, I can't go wrong with some lasagna and some salad with ranch. That's my go-to combo before a game.
That's what's up. All right, and let me see. What's your favorite stadium to play in so far?
Favorite stadium that I played in college, I would say Shadron State was definitely Shadron in Nebraska, South Dakota, one of those. That was definitely like a nice stadium to play in at the time. Professionally, the Fan Control League had an awesome stadium in Atlanta, so that was definitely cool to play in. And obviously, playing at the Tampa Bay Bucs Stadium, that's a memory I will never forget from the All-American game.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show. You're always welcome to come back on. What do you think about your experience on the Sports Shop 27 for the first time?
It was dope. Had a lot of fun, conversations, the highlights, and everything, man. The intro, wow, it's beautiful, man. So
Appreciate it.
appreciate you, man. Appreciate you having me on the show today.
All right, man. Just stay behind the camera for a second. We head out. For everybody that's watching, thank you for tuning in. Just joined and watched the new edition of Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter. I'd like to thank my special guest, Mr. Thomas Reed III, former Adams State University defensive end, outside linebacker, and fan control lead football player. Okay. Good luck in your endeavors in the new league. And if you have any other friends, any teammates who like to come on and be a great fit, please send them my way. Okay.
Absolutely.
All
Appreciate you,
right.
man.
No problem, man. For everybody that's watching, you know how we do it. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Until next time, be safe. Peace.